Tired of dropping your phone or struggling to prop it up? Meet the PopSockets phone grip with expanding kickstand in black, your new must-have accessory. Don't miss out. Grab yours today. Click the link in the video description to shop now on Amazon.
We've got a juicy one for you today on Behind the Buzz. If you're anything like me, you love a good behind-the-scenes scoop on Broadway shows, and this week's musical might be one of the most disappointing, but also one of the most informative about the entire biographical jukebox genre. Let's dive right in. Just in Time is a new musical based on the life and music of Bobby Darin, starring none other than Jonathan Groff as the iconic crooner himself. Sounds great, right? I mean, who doesn't love a good musical about a legendary musician? But unfortunately, this show falls flat from just about every angle. First off, the problem with biographical jukebox musicals is that they can feel like a shallow concert rather than an in-depth exploration of their subject's life. Just in Time does little to differentiate itself from other shows in this genre, sticking closely to its core conceit of Groff playing Darin on stage. And while it does have some big-name hits, the show fails to give us much insight into who Bobby Darin actually was as a person. Take, for example, Groff's portrayal of Darin. We see glimpses of his questionable treatment of women in life, but the show doesn't really dig deep enough to explain why this is so important to our understanding of him. And what about his musical talents? Darin was known as a talented singer and songwriter, but here he comes across more like a copycat of other famous musicians of his time. And speaking of talent, let's talk about the actual music in Just in Time. The show features some big-name hits from Bobby Darin's discography, including Splish Splash and Dream Lover, but these songs are handled with questionable arrangement choices that might leave you scratching your head. But honestly, who needs a musical adaptation of someone else's music when you can just listen to the originals at home? Now I know what you're thinking. What about Jonathan Groff's performance? Is he good enough to carry this show? Unfortunately, my answer is no. As much as we love Groff in other roles, here he feels like a one-trick pony, and his lack of depth and development makes the entire show feel shallow. And then there's the supporting cast, which sadly doesn't do much better. We've got some talented actors who get little to do but execute quick changes behind Groff on stage as backup dancers, which is just sad. In the end, Just in Time feels like a cautionary tale about the limits of the biographical jukebox musical genre. Can we really make these shows work if they're not pushing us to learn something new about our subject? Probably not. And for that reason alone, this show might be the final nail in the coffin of this entire format. But hey, who knows? Maybe you'll find something to love about Just in Time, and if so, we'd love to hear from you.